Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Frederick Mutia, RN. Welcome to our second session. As I promised, I'll be trying to do this every Wednesday. I hope to be able to do that, but if I'm busy and unable to do it, I kindly request you guys to bear with me. So today, let me go just straight to the point. Today's topic is what to expect when considering the idea of immigrating to the US as an RN. Let me start by giving you a short story of how my story started. My sister came from work. I was in Nairobi, and she was like, "Hey, why don't you try going to the US? There's this agency that has taken most of my friends at work, and it's a good agency, and I think it's something you can trust." And so she showed me, and I tried the first time, and I failed. They gave me some tests, I failed, and of course I wasn't very happy with that. And then the second time, I was still in Nairobi, and she brought the idea again to me. I had totally forgotten. In fact, I wasn't interested because I failed the first time, and I can't remember any person that is happy about failure. So we tried again, and this time around, my sister and her husband were very supportive. And I also had a friend who was living in the US then. His name is Edwin Ochieng. He's a very good friend of mine. We met in Mathare National Referral Hospital during our psychiatric nursing rotation experience, rather, I can say. So all these people came together and supported me, and I also shared this information with my wife, and she frankly speaking, she thought she thought I would start and then give up along the way. So she was just waiting for me to finally forget talking about going to the US, as we usually call it, kwenda maju. And that's how my journey started. And then my sister reached out to some of her friends. They were very supportive in terms of encouragement and information. And I remember that time in Kenya, all we were doing mostly was going on strikes because the county governments were not paying us. And so there was really financial stresses. It was really hard to even start this process because it's an expensive process. And I remember that's when I really understood the importance of having a few good friends or family that you can trust, and people that you can look up to for their support, be it psychological, be it emotional, be it spiritual, be it financial support. And I remember vividly my friend Edwin Ochieng. He bought me a U-World package. I couldn't afford one. We were being paid peanuts by the county then, and I was able to revise for my NCLEX with that. And so that's just my brief story of how all this started. What I'm trying to say that what you need to remember is the different people who come here through various means. Some have the idea given to them by somebody else, like I was. My sister shared that with me. Some get green cards. and they're able to come here, not as nurses, but just be able to legally immigrate to the US. But the challenge is, as an RN, you have to follow the due process. You have to have the Nursing Council of Kenya do their process, verify the papers, and there is more details that I'm going to share in my next video. But for this video, I'm just pointing out why it's very important to know what to expect when considering the idea of immigrating to the US. Some other people hear from friends about the idea of immigrating. Some, you see your friends probably posting pictures on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff, and you see how well they are doing in the US, and you also wish to go to the US, and probably that's how the idea comes to you. Some are very fortunate to have families abroad in the US, and some are quite lucky. Some of their family members are citizens in the US, and so they are able to send an invite for you, and that takes longer, but either way, it's also an avenue. But unfortunately, majority of us, me being one of them, the idea solely starts in your head, and you put that in your heart, and that's where all the energy comes from. It burns you every day. You wake up and think about it. Every day you focus on that goal and you work towards achieving that goal. And today I really want you, as you consider the idea of immigrating to the US, please remember, if you're single, please speak to your parents. Make sure you have their blessings. My culture, where I come from, if you don't have your parents' blessings, you're messed up. So be very cautious. Speak to your parents. See how they feel about it. Ask them for their blessings. And I'm sure with their blessings, you'll be able to find this process more fruitful, easier. And even if things don't go your way, if you end up failing and not succeeding to go, there's really no shame going back to these people. They blessed you anyway. And them blessing you to start that process doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to successfully migrate to the US. It can also mean you having a setback and not probably being able to do it successfully this time round. Or unfortunately, never, ever again. But that really doesn't matter. If it's in there with you, you can work your way to the US. If you're married, it's very important that you talk to your parents-in-law, your wife, your siblings, and most importantly, if you have kids, please talk to them. Tell them about what you're planning to do. Try to find out how they feel. Are they welcoming the idea? Are they happy about it? If they are not, please try to talk to them. Show them what it means, what opportunities it brings the whole family, and what you hope to benefit from that. Some people, mostly, basically, generally, human beings don't take change quite easily. Some take longer periods to process change, and some easily flow with it. And that's the gift that comes with children. Children are very easygoing. They migrate to the US, they learn the English faster than you, and like currently my daughter corrects me on some of my English words. Unfortunately, my English is mostly British English because that's how I was taught in Kenya. And unfortunately, the British English is what I'm used to. But when they come here, they learn the American English, and there's a difference. But with time, you're able to learn it. But what is important is, can you speak clearly? Can you write clearly? Can you listen to what you're being told? And can you read correctly? If you're able to do that, regardless of whether you're speaking your American English or your British English or you have an accent, that's fine. Everyone has an accent, and you'll be surprised that when you come to the US, everyone has an accent. People from different states have their unique accents, and that's unique to them. So it's not something you should be so much stressed about. So discuss with the parents, the in-laws, not everyone, of course, but the people who really matter: the parent, the mother, the father-in-law, your wife, maybe a sibling or two that your wife or your husband is really close to. Get their blessings. Let them know that you're starting this process for the benefit of the family. It can go two ways. You guys can successfully migrate, or you guys can fail. And let them know whether they are there to support you. The support really is very important, because currently I know things as they are, even as nurses back home in Kenya, you really don't make enough to be able to foot your bills and be able to pay for this process. It's a lot, and as we are going to discuss more in the future videos, you will realize that it's very expensive. I'm hopefully going to have figures which I paid myself, and it's probably higher right now, because I think as the years go by, the price is always reviewed upwards. So let these people know, and please be able to point out the people who can be able to help you. For me, I was very blessed. My sister helped me throughout. She gave me cash. Whenever I got paid, counties were very frustrating. We got paid they didn't even pay us on a monthly basis. You would miss out 2-3 months, and then when they pay you, it's a lump sum of 3 months, but then the taxes were huge, so you lost a lot of money. But then what I did was, as I made sure I did not lose her respect, I did not lose her trust. As soon as I got paid by the county, I paid off the amount that she had given me. And that's really important. Some people have habits, very bad habits. You borrow money, and then when it's time for you to pay back, you shamefully try to stay away from these people that helped you in the first place. Trust me, that won't serve you long. In fact, you can run now, but later you will regret, because these same people that you ran away from with their money will not pick your calls when you really need their help. So please be very careful. Just a minute, a drink, please. All right, let's see the next point. When you start this process, be ready to miss out on the fun. Allow me to use Swahili. Well, tulipokuwa Kenya, Friday mpaka Sunday ilikuwa happy. Tunaandasika, tunachapa gauge huko, manyama choma na mabeste na nini, rave, dunda, nini. Hizo zote sahau. Please be ready to miss out on the fun. Whatever you guys do over the weekends, be ready to miss out. You will not be able to keep up with your buddies because you'll be very busy reading books. When you start the RN NCLEX process, you will literally be doing all the nursing you did. You're doing everything from scratch. You have all these books that you're reading, constantly doing questions, reviewing them, listening to videos, listening to audios, reading the books, and trying to do all these multiple tests from the internet. And when we get to that point, I'll give you some of the resources, the links and some of the apps that you can be able to use to join these groups, and hopefully you can be able to have a good start. Finally, let me see. There's a lot of paperwork involved, so be ready to be investigated. The US will investigate you. They will tear you apart. They will look under and above. They will look for any information they may be missing. Because, as you know it, terrorism is a big deal, and it's changing the world as a whole on how they approach this immigration process. We have people coming in as kids, but then they turn out to be terrorists. And this is not unsafe for the countries. It's unsafe for you and me, wherever we may be. Whether we're in the same country, whether we are worlds apart, but it's unsafe for everyone. And don't find this process as being demeaning, as being, there's a common word, like you're being invalidated. No, this is for your own safety. And when the time comes and you're successfully declared a legal immigrant, you will now be able to benefit from the fruits of being a legal immigrant. Otherwise, that's the session for today. Think about it. Everyone and anyone that is able to help you, please keep them on your side. Tell them what to expect. Don't make the impression that, hey, I'm going tomorrow, and then the tomorrow never comes. And then it's embarrassing and you're unable to go back to your crew. No, let them know that this process can be successful, and equally, it might be a failure. And if it does, yeah, you guys, please be there to support me. And most importantly, your family comes first. Your family comes first. If you're married, your wife and your kids, they come first. Because when you're having a bad day, when you're having a good day, they are the people who come in contact firsthand with your feelings, with your reactions. If you're not married, maybe your parents, your brothers, whoever you live with, your friends. But if you're married, your family comes first. Keep them updated. Tell them what's going on. If you're frustrated, tell them in a nice way, because you don't want to push them away. And our next video will be very important. I'll be discussing specific things that you really need to have ready to start this process. So on our next video, next Wednesday hopefully, make sure you have a piece of pen and paper, and yeah, make sure you have a good internet. Maybe you can download these if you're able to, and you can listen and watch it wherever you may be. And please ask questions. Already guys are reaching out to my inbox. As I said, I'm really sorry. I may be able to respond, I may not be able to respond, because I'm busy. I have kids that I have to take care of, I have chores to do, I have work to do, and sometimes it's really hard to like hold this phone and just respond to messages. That's why this idea of YouTube came about, so that I'm able to put this information together and you guys can listen to it and use this information to your best. Otherwise, thank you so much. Please share this information with the people that are considering immigrating to the US. And as I said, please join me in this journey together to see how best we may be able to approach this process. Again, this is Frederick Mutia from Meru County, Maua Town. See you next Wednesday. Bye and God bless.